Hello, everybody. I say that hoping that people will end up in my chat. Right now, there aren't any people in my chat, but that's okay. Maybe one person, a couple of bots, but I'm hopeful. We'll see. But this is a VOD, so maybe somebody will stumble across it. And I just started, and I don't advertise, so we'll see if this works. This my strategy is to hide in relative obscurity and hope that a marketing benefactor comes out of nowhere and saves me from myself. Anyway, the stream is starting according to this graphic. Let me switch over. Hello, I'm Mayor Watt. I'm the mayor of ohmTown. Welcome to the show. I'm looking at one of my monitors. I was watching riff tracks before I started the stream, because I like to enjoy what I'm doing before I get on the stream instead of preparing for the stream. Again, a weird strategy, but I don't like to over prepare. I like to vamp, right? We're 9 days into this now, and I say somewhat of the same things each time when I start my stream. Hello, who I am, what this is. Welcome to the stream. Maybe a little idiosyncrasy. God, I can't talk today. Idiosyncrasies about me, right? The fact that I'm watching riff tracks before a stream instead of preparing. The fact that I don't like to prepare. I like to just hang out with everybody. Or nobody. Streaming to nobody. Go tell a friend. Come and hang out. Watch the pretty lights behind me. I changed the background a little bit because I didn't like that there was a gap right there between that panel and that panel and the wall. My God, I can't, in the wall. I just can't twist my hand. In the wall over there was a gap like that. Oh my God, whatever. At any rate, I moved things around and here we are. I think it looks better. But you're not here really to look at my set, really. Want to talk shop? Oh, my camera's a little bit wider than normal. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. I'm making changes. Trying to make things look better. I'm actually in a sit-stand desk, so when I stand, the bottom of this frame is actually below that spot right there, and up above there's more lights. Looks better when I'm standing. I haven't been standing for my streams. Probably should get some exercise in. So if you've stopped by before or you're finding this VOD for the first time, I go for about an hour currently. I'm ramping up to spending more time with everybody, and hopefully more people will show up as time goes on. If you find this entertaining or informative or leading to something that you find entertaining and informative, by, let's say, I don't know, going to ohmTown.com or going to the Discord link that's on the page on Twitch, go to the About page and you can find out more about me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, although there isn't content there. I just haven't linked everything together in a efficient way, but it's on my agenda. I was hoping to get Twitch integrated into my website. That didn't happen. as 2021 went and 2020 went and 2019 went, I received some bad news. It kind of threw a wrench into motivation and time. Really, it's just an excuse. I could have, just smiled and nodded a lot and just done it. But anyway, I'll get it done next week sometime, depending on how much work I have to do. I am a full-time employee elsewhere, and I run my own business on the side, and been doing that for years and years and years. But one of these days, I think I'll just pull the cord and just dedicate myself to streaming. Hopefully some people come into chat and say, you know what? I really dig this idea. I'll follow you. The more people follow me, the more that I know that there's something there. And then I can make that switch. And I can do a deeper dive into each show when I have more time to talk about X, Y, and Z show, right? So at the top of this page, the website that drives all of this, outside of Twitch, is ohmTown.com. ohmTown.com has these 6 main categories. The first one is for creators. Has a bunch of groups. Inside those groups are forums. Inside the forums are news, bits, taken from various news sources, little snippets, not the whole thing. I want you to hang out with me on Twitch and talk about some interesting news. You can link to it in chat. But I want you to go to those sites. Swing by ohmTown on the way. Go to those sites. Come back, vote it up, vote it down. Make comments. That's how it works. I want to promote all of these sites and the people, the authors, eventually, like for Bead Baby and Breaking Prose and Constructagon, all of these, Reality Hacker, Tabletop Nights, all of these makers, there are people there that I want to point you towards. I don't get anything out of it. I don't have contracts with them or marketing deals, or they're not paying me to promote them. I just find them interesting, or they've wound up in the news, right? So man versus man, what is this type of conflict in literature? It's under Breaking Prose. When I click this link, it'll take you there. This is grabbed by my news aggregator and thrown into ohmTown. And within ohmTown, once you're logged in, I don't log in and I block ads from showing because I can't promote ads on my own interface as an administrator. It's actually against the rules on Google. But there's a little Google ad there just hanging out. If you go to Patreon, I remove the ad. If you subscribe to me on Twitch, I remove the ad. Yeah. And not having the ad will speed up the site because it doesn't have to wait for Google to respond. And I don't have an internal advertising thing to speed it up otherwise. But anyway, so that's how it works, right? You go over to ohmTown.com. Find an interesting article, click on that headline. It'll take you to the discussion within the group, within ohmTown.com. You look at that little snippet, and if that little snippet motivates you, then click the link. It's supposed to open up a new link, takes you to the site, allows you to read about it. What does man versus man conflict mean? And it'll tell you there on prowritingaid.com. I don't take the whole article. Oh, I didn't want to show you that just yet. This is a product from Novetto at CES 2022. We'll get to that in a minute. I like tech. My license plate even says it, that I like tech. It doesn't say I like tech though. So Breaking Prose is all about writing. I like short stories. I like short stories compared to long novels, mainly because to tell a short story, you have to be very tight with the writing. You have to be succinct, but still deliver a message. The amount of fluff, flowery writing, which helps a person with a longer book do world building that minimizes the variation of creativity that goes on in a person's head when they're reading a book, right? So if I'm reading a book that just says you're in a room, everybody envisions a room of their own design. Could be any size, because there's no descriptors. Could be any color. Could have a different smell. Could all kinds of have things. It could have all kinds of things. Sorry, my brain just rattled on there. But if with a bigger book, you can write out more flowery language that explains exactly what's in the room, right? So I like short stories because they try and pin you in a little bit more with your creativity in certain aspects, but opens the door for individual creativity in other aspects. But the story, it's tight. No extraneous stuff. So you'll be able to find out what man versus man is in regards to the type of conflict in literature. Go check it out. Go back to ohmTown.com. Aerith is a storybook world type of environment, a world of my creation, but it pulls news into it. Really doesn't have anything to do with the storybook world, but the material in it is kind of a tangent, a close approximation of what I'm looking for, which is world building. That's what Aerith is. If you're interested in building into the world of Aerith, contact me. I'll create an entire world within the universe of Aerith. Aerith is an interesting place because, like the game Rifts, where two or more ley lines cross over, a gate is formed into another world, and by walking into that gate, you go to that world, and it could be a storybook world too. It's an RPG world. That's what this is. It's all about being an RPG world. Aerith is all about RPGs, role-playing games, if you've never heard of that before. Got some more politics. Got some more reports of COVID-19, of course. It's got to be 2022. Heard a stat today. Took a 2-hour trip one way, so 4 hours of my day was spent on the road today. And I heard a stat that there's 1 million infections. Need to tell somebody something real quick. Sorry for the silence. Hopefully you can hear the music. This was too much to pass up. I had to tell somebody this. So yeah, 1 million cases, confirmed cases of COVID-19. Most of them are Omicron. Get the shot. Get the shot. Get the vaccine, I should say. Everybody worries about the shot. More politics. You want to make your resolution stick, your running resolution stick? Go over to ohmTown, click that link, read the little snippet. If it's interesting, go over to the site that it comes from and see how you can make your running resolution stick. I can tell you how to make your running resolution stick. Run. every day. If you don't have an Apple Watch, get an Apple Watch and have it remind you, run. Have a phone, make a note, have an alert every day, run. Doesn't matter how long you run. 5 minutes today turns into 50 minutes another day. But you got to get there, which means you got to do it. And while people can remind you, you are still the one that has to stay motivated to do it. If it's all work and a grind and you hate it, you're not going to be doing it. Why? Because we are human and we don't want to do this, that, or the other unless it's good for us. Like, we enjoy it, right? We hate it. We don't do it. Several skiers hurt in North Carolina ski resort after hydrants struck. So I saw the video of this. So this is a ABC News article, and there was a video of it. I'm not going to play the whole video. May not play any of the video. Anyway, the video that I saw was of, I'm not sure why there's news about the vaccination on this, but anyway. So go and check it out. ABC News. But the video that I saw was a hydrant was struck. It broke the top off. The hydrant was blasting straight up. And for whatever reason, the universe decided, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to stop that ski lift with 2 people at least directly above that fire hydrant. And it just blasted them with what had to have been ice cold water. Didn't read the article. It's up to you to go read the article, but go over to ohmTown, look at that little snippet. Several people were hurt at a North Carolina ski resort. Go check it out. But in a nutshell, the video I saw was these people seemingly being inserted into the current version of carbonite. Had to have been ice water by the time they were covered in it. I mean, it was spraying and spraying and spraying. My goodness, I cannot believe that they didn't move. Oh, just move. Man, just get a crank and turn the crank so that these people on the ski lift are 15 feet up or down the mountain. So that these guys aren't getting blasted by water on a hill of snow and ice. Brilliant. Now, I hope they're okay. UK police apply for no-fly zone above Windsor Castle. Flooding persists after Pacific Northwest storms. Yeah, that kind of happens. Big blast of Arctic air, everything freezes over, and then it melts when warmer air comes floating by. And guess what? It's going to get more and more wild until we get a grip on what amounts to global warming. The weather systems become more erratic. Heard about this building fire. I feel horrible for all of those people and everyone around them. Our whole world is changing because of this accident or event. I don't know if it's an accident. I haven't heard that it's an accident or not, but because of that event. Jeopardy keeps seeing winning streaks. That might be an interesting article to read, right? Go over to ohmTown, click the link. It'll take you to the Mobile group, into its discussions. Jeopardy keeps seeing winning streaks. Champions ponder why. I mean, Amy Schneider isn't the only one on a roll. Just a dozen players have won 10 or more games, half of those in the past 5 years and a quarter in this season alone. You ever wonder why now, all of a sudden? New York Times talks about it. Click the link, go over to the site. If she's still going, I have not caught up with Jeopardy. It's on the DVR and I'm slowly watching them. But go over to New York Times, read the article. If you find value in it, sign up for it. She became the 4th contestant in history to surpass $1 million. And by the way, I was watching the episode where, what was it? She's one of the fastest to a certain amount, but I'm sorry, it's so far back now that I don't remember what the number was. But she was winning big each episode. It was pretty interesting, and I haven't caught up yet, like I said, so I will end up going back. Or I'm going to be watching them, so I really don't want to read this article because it's going to give something away. It already gave away that she won $1 million, but I'm just gonna hide that. She can go over to ohmTown.com and surf through all of this and see if there's something interesting. There's things talking about, there's news is talking about Ukraine and Putin going into Ukraine. You know, I mean, the region was balkanized politically, economically, intentionally, and it was caused by the collapse of USSR. It was sort of like United States, but in different political construct, right? I was living elsewhere. I knew people that came from the region. They weren't fans of the United States. They weren't fans of Russia. They were barely fans of seemingly anything other than just trying to survive because of the political climate and the violence in the region. And they knew that they had to go back. Over the years, we lost touch, and I don't know where they are or if they're okay or what's going on. But to say that the region is stable and everything is okay, I don't know. I don't know. You'd think everybody would just leave each other alone, but that's not how it is, I guess. And it comes across as naive to say things like that. And I don't really have, I don't know. It's tough to form an opinion about this other than I wish everybody would get along, but it just doesn't happen that way. I'd heard about this, a cliff collapse on boaters in Brazil. This actually popped up, I think, yesterday. That sucks because if you're right up close to anything, like glaciers, right? There's tour boats that go out to glaciers and watch these glaciers, and then they roll over and, blast that boat with ice and water and whatnot. And sometimes people get hurt, and whale watchers and people who go out and look at volcanoes that are erupting as if, oh, it's perfectly safe. Well, no, it's not perfectly safe. But then again, I've jumped out of an airplane. I am advanced open water rescue, search and recovery diver. So, I understand risk and wanting to take it and doing some of this risk taking for the greater good and trying to save lives and whatnot. But got to be careful, got to be prepared. But we report this stuff and it becomes newsworthy for whatever reason. You know, the people that are affected by this don't necessarily want to be in the news, other than to say maybe perhaps be careful or don't do it. But hindsight is 2020. Under Warcrafters is here's Half-Life with ray tracing. Let me open that in a new tab there. So this has an actual pretty big article segment, and you can go visit the source at pcgamer.com. And they have a little video on YouTube called Half-Life Ray Traced Teaser. If this is with the RTX cards, which it would have to be, because that's what the R in RTX is. Well, that's what the RT in RTX is. The lighting is going to be spectacular. I'm not going to play the video in here. I'm not going to show more of the article on here other than click the link. It'll take you over to PC Gamer. And you can listen to the article, you can read the article, you can watch the video, and the author is Jonathan Bolding. Come on back to ohmTown, post a comment, go chat about it in real time on Discord. There's nobody on my Discord because again, just like I said at the beginning of this, I don't advertise. But ray tracing is awesome technology to be implemented on video cards. Changes the whole, it's ironic to say dynamic, but that's what it is. The lighting becomes much more dynamic. The materials, the qualities of the materials that are programmed to act a certain way become more lifelike. It's going to be pretty neat. Now, if only we could solve this chip shortage, which isn't supposed to exist anymore, right? Because COVID doesn't exist anymore. Supply chains are returning to normal, right? Thought all of this was over. Pardon me 1 second. Now is not a good time to have allergies or to sneeze spontaneously and then sniffle and cough and whatnot. Everybody looks at you. Do you have the virus? Body of man who abandoned car in snowstorm found in Virginia. That sucks. But they were stuck there for over 24 hours. The problem with getting out of your car is it was a known quantity. Eventually somebody would get to you. You know, it doesn't happen that way when you walk away from your car. So stay near your car. Hey, you know what? We're halfway into this and I'm actually going on to the second page. But do I want to do that? Or should I go to one of the categories up here? Come say hello. Send me a message in my chat. Let's have a conversation. And I'm going to go to the second page. Maybe there's going to be some interesting articles in there. There will be, because there's always something being ingested into ohmTown. And more, as I find valuable, reliable sources of information. Swedish Siri tests point to upcoming HomePod mini release in Sweden. would love to have a Swedish Siri. I wonder if that's actually available yet. Copyright would probably limit its access to me here. I use a British Siri right now. Why was there less lightning during COVID lockdowns? What do you think that's all about? Scientists have determined that COVID-19 lockdowns resulted in less lightning because aerosol emissions also declined. This is at ABC News as well. Well, that's fascinating. The decrease coincided with a drop in humans emitting aerosols. Is that correlation or causation? As a result, air and water became cleaner, fewer animals were killed by vehicles, and the world grew quieter. Imagine that. So go check out that article. It's at abcnews.go.com. But if you follow the link via ohmTown, you'll land on that site easier than trying to follow a link that I say in my stream. You could always do a search for why was there less lightning during COVID lockdowns. Oh, there's the Novetto device. Are you curious about what that is yet? In a little bit, I'll get to it. Opening Geneva talks. Russia, U.S. hold working dinner to open Geneva talks. Really? That might be an interesting article. Swing on by ohmTown. Take a look. Follow the link. Go look at the news source. I don't understand this. Arguing voting rights vote must be bipartisan. Just give everybody the same voting rights. Make sure everybody gets the opportunity to vote. Gerrymandering stuff so that one side has almost a guaranteed win is unethical. It's immoral. Everybody should have the right to vote. Everybody. Every American of voting age should have the right to vote. And not only the right to vote, but the ability to access a vote station wherever they live. It's the 21st century, for crying out loud. But I hear the refrain. I've had this conversation with other people that are like, well, how do you explain 3 a.m. massive amounts of votes being injected into the system? They're not being injected. They're being updated into the primary system because you have staging areas. I talked about this in a previous stream. You can't just keep on peppering a system with information from around the nation where it's stood up on one night and taken down the next night without having staging areas that inject information into a database. And then you see the rise of votes. For crying out loud, that's how it works. Countless enterprises do bulk processing at midnight or later. They process their receipts at the end of the day. That's how enterprise works, because they don't keep on doing it constantly throughout the day. They do a quick check, they store the information, and then at the end of the day, they process the receipts. As long as everything is locally corrected, they don't have to pull back a payment or a charge, but they have the temporary hold sitting there. Someday, technically savvy people will be a voice of reason beyond just the enterprise. I mean, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Small enterprises, they can charge immediately. From end to end, they can do the full charge, take the money out of your account, put it in their deposit account, all electronically. Fine. But when you have massive amounts of information all at once being processed, you can't keep peppering a system. It will eventually fail because there's some collision somewhere. And you know what? Nobody wants to spend a lot of money on this, on any election, right? Oh, you're wasting our money. We're not wasting money on a voting system. Release the source code to voting machines to the public so that everybody can take a look at it. Security professionals can audit the source code, and it isn't a black box that nobody has access to. Everybody should be able to see the actual source code. Oh, well, Mayor Watt, you're promoting this idea that somebody is going to be able to audit that source code and find a hole in it. And believe me, there are people that are finding holes in it anyway. And even when there isn't a hole in it, they're finding a hole in it and saying that maybe what the source code that I looked at isn't the source code that's on the system. There's ways of making sure that happens too. But if nobody trusts anybody, then everything is all for naught. Let's just go back to animals. Live in caves. Hunt each other for food. Who wants to volunteer as tribute? For crying out loud. We aren't animals that way. We need to have civil discourse. Reasonable people, reasonable minds. Let's talk. But I'm new here on Twitch streaming. Happy to talk about these things. Let's discuss your perspective. If you have a perspective, you stumble across my channel, my VOD, and you want to talk about it, come and talk about it. I'm finalizing the last bits so that I can actually throw somebody into that little box up there, the black box up there. Another screen like this, you can come onto the channel and activate your camera if you so choose, or I can just pull you in voice only and we can chat in real time. How's that sound? I think it sounds great. A lot of others kind of vet who they have on the show. I don't mind you coming onto this show and talking shop. That'd be great. But like I said at the beginning of this, and I say in all of my VODs, I don't like planning things. I like vamping. I like just riffing off of everybody that's around me and going through this news, giving my perspective and trying to see if somebody who comes into my channel wants to talk about something. Could be political, could be business, society, technology. The three main things that ohmTown focuses on is business, technology, and society. Pretty much everything falls into those three main categories. At the top of the page are the 6 categories that the site grabs news for and processes, ingests, and then posts here in the all the news section. Like Dictionary. To lose the dressing room, meaning and origin. What do you think that's all about? You think it's an interesting article? Here's a little snippet. 1993. Used of the coach or manager of a soccer team, the British and Irish English phrase, to lose the dressing room means to lose the player's respect. Go visit the source, wordhistories.net. I'm really interested in the origin of words, how symbols and words and things gain meaning. There's actually a science called semiotic ontology. That right there. And that is basically the study of how symbols gain meaning. And along with Dictioneer is basically creating new words and phrases, and it's a service that my company provides. So if you have a product or a service, I and those who I might contract with that are subject matter experts within the field of the business or product or service that is seeking a new name. It is a service called Dictioneer. Come up with a new name, a new phrase, some marketing materials that can be taken to a company for further integration into the marketing efforts. But semiotic and ontology is all about the actual dressing room. How did the dressing room become the symbol that gained meaning as to lose the dressing room? Now, if you go to wordhistories.net, you can read this entire article. I won't read it on air. Oh, look, there's Novetto again. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Maybe 3-4 minutes. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I want that product. I'm waiting for that product. It will change how people stream. But we'll get to that here in a minute. So I was further down here. There's a bunch of politics. Dick Carson, the director on The Tonight Show and Wheel of Fortune, dies at 92. The Tonight Show, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. These shows have been running forever, seemingly forever. Wheel of Fortune, I'm not sure what Vanna White and the host, oh gosh, I just forgot his name. Pat Sajak, what they do, but if I can get their genes injected into me so that I can stay, hopefully it's not plastic surgery, but my goodness, I wish I was that passionate about something that I could do that same gig day in, day out. They must have much more free time. They must do like 30 shows in a day, and then they're done for the month, and then they can go live their life and do other marketing kind of stuff. But Wheel of Fortune's a fun show. Jeopardy is a great show. Tonight Show, it's changed hosts over the years. I've always been a fan of Johnny Carson. I was told a long time ago about Johnny Carson, if the way that he interacted with people, he could read people really, really well. And if you were going to be a wet blanket, he would just blast you. Kind of like how a heckler in a bar comedy night, you don't heckle the comedian on the stage because you're going to just have your butt handed to you. So I've always liked the Tonight Show and the Late Show and the Late Show. Chicago mayor, teachers still at odds over COVID protocols. Go virtual, everybody. Go virtual. Don't risk your health for an education when you can stream it, when you can do it online. The biggest difference between an online education and an in-person education is the networking with other students, at least at the 2-year level. 2-year level, it's a little harder to justify, in my opinion, because networking is much harder in a commuter-based college like a 2-year. Yeah, I mean, people are traveling to and from work and home and trying to stuff their education in at the same time, whereas 4 years you tend to live there to a greater degree on the campus, around the campus. You don't do that so much at a 2-year. So stay home. And if you can tell your college, hey, I would prefer quality distance education, maybe they'll follow through with it. Man, 2022 is just getting peppered. It's very public. The number of stars that are and entertainers that are just dropping off the planet. You'll see. This is the first time I've made it into page 3, but what I normally do is go article by article, or I should say category by category, and then articles within it, right? So if there's some category that you are interested in, throw it in chat. I'm going to be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We can talk in real time if you are interested. Come say hello. I still have 15 minutes. I'm going to keep on doing this and kind of vamping about my perspective of things. Happy to entertain yours, and we can talk about it if you are interested. Throw it in chat what your question might be or what your comment might be. That would be great. I don't remember this. It's probably, before my time. The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. Spotify blows through 2021 hi-fi streaming deadline with no release in sight. Not sure why this is being pulled into Smack Talk. Smack Talk is all about Apple products and services and related materials. So it's probably because it has to do with Apple Music in some way. Oh, the Spotify hi-fi. That's right. That's the 2021 hi-fi streaming deadline. I don't know about deadline. You know when something launches? When it's ready. And if it launches just because a deadline has been presented and it is garbage, you end up with Cyberpunk, and you don't want that, right? I mean, do you want Cyberpunk 2077? Do you want Spotify Hi-Fi as its version of Cyberpunk 2077, where you subscribe to Spotify Hi-Fi but you don't get Hi-Fi? No, you don't want to do that because it's going to be more expensive and they're going to lose customers. You're going to be unhappy. It's going to change your perspective about Spotify. They might as well just pause and do it right. CD quality lossless audio. Just call it lossless audio. Which generation today, which population of the generations that are alive today know or care about CD? They don't. CD quality is a lost concept. It's higher resolution lossless audio. Oh man, that's something that I can talk about. Not today though. We're going to talk about other things today, but I'll have to write a little reminder. Lossless audio. If you can find artists that provide their music, like Apple Music has some lossless audio streams for their higher end AirPods and what is the headset? I forgot the Apple headphones. What are they called? I hope that you can hear me okay. My mic is further away than normal. Doggone it. I don't know why my brain just totally... Oh, AirPods Max. That's what it is. So AirPods Max and the latest generation of AirPods Pro, they have this sound stage now that wraps around you and when you hear a musician that takes advantage of that level of audio construction, it is amazingly immersive. Audiophiles will want like the classic sound a certain way, primarily that warm feel that you would get from playing something on a record, or something that is nostalgic, right? Something that is it's always lossless, right? So it's not a recording of a recording. It's not magnetic reel to reel kind of thing where it degrades over time, but its reproduction of the soundstage is impeccable, right? You want to hear everything that the artist created in the way that they want it presented. Let me tell you, it is amazing. I have other headphones that do this, but not to that degree because it isn't built for Apple. But there are some artists out there that just make an amazing soundstage for their works. And I wish that I could name some. Give me a second. Let me just do a quick search. I won't be able to in the time that I've got available to me. I apologize. We'll have to revisit this. Unless I can do something really just like an amazing search right now. No. Sorry, I'm going through a list really quick of musicians. These are all the ones that I'm pulling up are old school artists, old school musicians. I'm gonna do another quick search real quick and see if I can. It's called Apple Spatial Audio, and I wish that I could. The search that I pulled up mentions like Ariana Grande and Maroon 5, but that's not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody very in particular. I'm gonna make you wait for me to find this because I don't want you to leave this. There we go. Jack Garrett is one. Who else? Let me keep looking. Oh my goodness. I have a Pandora station that is populated by several of the artists that I'm trying to get across. But if you pull up Jack Garrett, you'll hear what I'm talking about. The soundstage for their music just pulls you in, and you think that you're just in a molasses of audio and you can just swim in it, and it's spectacular. So I can't say more about it than go listen. Get a good pair of headphones, but not really expensive ones. Like, don't go into debt because you don't think that you hear the soundstage. It becomes pretty evident even with mediocre pair, because that's all I have. I don't have AirPod Max or even AirPod Pros, but the music is still spectacular. Yeah, let me see if I can. I don't have them here, but again, I guess I'll bring them up in the next thing. But that leads me, it's a good transition over to the next thing that I'm talking about, that I wanted to talk about, because I saw this at CES 22. It was streamed and I saw it, and I can't remember where the stream was, but I think that it will change the way that streamers interact with their music and games, because this thing, this Novetto, is a beamforming speaker, and it's basically a sound bar, and I can put it right underneath my monitor. So in front of me right now, right, I've got monitors that are in front of me, and then I've got my Go XLR right here in front of me. My Stream Deck is right there, but I can put the sound bar right underneath my monitor, my main monitor, and it will beam the audio straight into my noodle. And if you are off axis, you won't hear it. Nobody will hear it, right? And because there's no loud noises, my mic won't pick it up unless the beam strikes my mic. And my mic is right here. It's a blue Spark, black SL right here. So as long as that beam avoids hitting my mic, it won't be the object that resonates with the beam forming audio. And I think that that's what will change the nature of gaming, because you won't have to have speakers all over the place, because it'll just get thrown right into your head. Pretty awesome. I want this tech so bad. Oh, look, they even have a, I didn't go to the site. I didn't look at the site. I went to the site prior to the stream, but I didn't go and look at the pictures and read the marketing material, because I had seen it in action and instantly fell in love with it. I want this tech. I don't see it for sale though. So as soon as it goes up for sale, I'm all over it, because it would be great. Because right now I've got two speakers, but the speakers are pointing at me, and because my microphone is within the area of influence of my speakers, if I turn it up too high, even with my gate, even with the attack set so perfectly that it's supposed to block all of the extraneous stuff out and only pick up my voice, because the mic is supposed to be rejecting everything behind it, my mic still picks it up. But this is just amazing. What do you think of it? If you come to my VOD, and I know that I scrolled really fast. Sorry, I hope I didn't give anybody a headache, but beamforming technology has been around for a while. There's this phrase that exists called tactical to practical. A lot of technology comes into existence through government and military contracts and research, right? So like Google came into existence because of a DARPA project. DARPA funded the research that went into creating the fundamentals of Google, and Google pivoted into an enterprise and now is one of the richest, most powerful companies, right? If it doesn't want you to be seen, you can be excised from the internet search engine of choice of most people. But beamforming came from research that was done for the military, because if you get a big enough beam with powerful enough energy, you can disable somebody at distance. And it's less than lethal is the term, less than lethal. And some people say that ultrasonics beamforming is what was used. Where was it? I think Cuba. On a US government office. And those people are still sick to this day, apparently. It permanently damaged hearing, which through the effects of damaging hearing, it throws off balance, coordination, the ability to concentrate, all kinds of stuff, right? Like if you were talking to me and you had a pair of headphones on and I played back your audio a quarter of a second off from real time, it would jam you. It's called speech jamming, and it would cause you to stutter or stop being able to communicate altogether. If I get the frequency right, and if I get the rate of response back to you right, it can jam you up. Well, if I do beamforming and fire this thing at you from a distance, and all I do is replay something in your head, even if it's a sound, I can mess you up just by playing a sound, ultrasonic smart beam, not smart beam, but tight beam, focused beam, and just fire it right back at you. Pretty neat. So this, coupled with privacy screens so that you don't have any off angle, like shoulder surfing, or like I know people who have special screens on their phones so that nobody can look over their shoulder. That coupled with beamforming speakers could remove the ability to overhear conversations and look at screens, so you can get a more secure experience even in a public forum. So I'm sure that this tech exists elsewhere. It's out there. But this is trying to get brought to market, and it was at CES 2022. And I think it's awesome technology. And like I said at the beginning of this little segment, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I won't play any audio. I won't play any videos. I want you to go over to Novetto and click the link and watch the videos and do your own research. But my perspective on it, and I've done similar, I wouldn't say research, I've done similar investigations into this technology because I wanted to create something like this. Obviously, there's a limit to what one person can do. And I'm not connected to government contracts in such a way that I can just put in a proposal and suddenly I'm building whatever I want. There are people out there like that. And let me tell you, there are some brilliant people out there that nobody's ever even heard of. A lot of people are fans of Elon Musk and others, of that same billionaire status. But there are people out there that are creating amazing technologies, just spectacular technologies themselves, not a corporation around them. It's just them. And I just witnessed my stream fall off, and I'm not sure why. I stream at 6,000 kilobits or higher, and it just dropped off to 1,000. Not sure, but my network is rock solid. So maybe the ingest server said, you've been streaming for an hour. I think you're done. So I think I'm done for tonight. We're going to call it quits. And I welcome you to the channel. I appreciate you coming and looking at the VOD if you are watching the VOD, or if you are watching it live and I just don't see you in chat. I'll thank you there. And if you are in chat, thank you very much for coming. And if you're not following me, please follow. I'm trying to get at least one a day. and I think it would be great. I'd like to do this more and more each day. But that's going to come on the heels of people finding it interesting enough to show me that, yeah, you're doing something of value. I'm having fun chatting. I'm having fun creating these VODs, but I really like interaction. So tell a friend, come on back. And I'll give you a subscription. That way you're giving me a chance, and I'm giving you a benefit of giving me that chance. So I'll put my money where my mouth is, literally put my money where my mouth is. So come on back, ask questions, make comments, check out ohmTown.com, swing by Discord. I'll start posting stuff to YouTube and to Twitter and other places as time permits. I think I'm going to leave all of my VODs up on Twitch until the deadline for the VOD to drop off kind of times out, which I think is 2 weeks. And then I'll post it on YouTube. So the first one is a few days away, about 5 days away. And I'll post it up on YouTube. And you can go to youtube.com/ohmTown and the videos will be there day after day. As one is supposed to drop off, I will throw my stream that I record locally onto YouTube. So it won't have the stream chat. That's just how it goes. And Twitch won't keep my VODs forever. At least, I don't know how long they keep it for partners and affiliates, but for us tourists who haven't reached either of those 2 points of status, I think it's only 2 weeks. So, okay, that's enough prattling on for today. I will see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern. Maybe I'll start early. No, I won't. I'll start at 6 o'clock. I might run late. I might join somebody else's game. I've been kind of open invited to a few other games. And I might play something from Steam. So if you're interested, come on by at 6 o'clock and we can talk. Thanks again.